Hello guys, welcome to the lecture 4 of machine learning series. At the time of production, we basically train a machine learning model in two ways. Okay, first is batch learning and second is online learning. Okay, this batch learning is also referred as offline learning. Okay, this batch learning is also referred as offline learning. In this video, we'll be discussing about batch learning in detail. Okay, first let's start with the basic definition. It is a learning paradigm where models are trained using entire dataset at once rather than incrementally over time. Okay, now let's decode this entire definition in a step-by-step manner. Okay, first we basically consider a dataset. Okay, we consider a single dataset. Okay, after considering this dataset, we train a machine learning model on this dataset. Okay, first we consider the dataset. After dataset pre-processing and everything is done, and when we are ready with the data, we train a machine learning model on this dataset. Okay, after entire training process is completed, we evaluate the results on the test data. Okay, now what actually happens in this entire process is we train this machine learning model on this entire dataset. Okay, we don't divide this dataset into small chunks, but we train this machine learning model on the entire dataset. Okay, we train this machine learning model on the entire dataset. Okay, how much data we have, on that much data we train this entire machine learning model. Okay, then we evaluate the results on the test data. Okay, once we are ready, okay, once we are satisfied with the training results and test results, we then deploy our machine learning model on the server. Okay, we then deploy our machine learning model on the server. Okay, what actually this deployment means is, if we like we have created a machine learning project. Okay, now only if we use that machine learning project, then there is no use. Okay, then if we bring this machine learning project publicly available, then it is much more useful. Okay, so that is meant by deployment. Means we deploy our machine learning project. Okay, we make our machine learning project publicly available. Okay, publicly available. Okay, that is meant by deployment. Okay, this is how batch learning works. In batch learning, we train a machine learning model on an entire dataset. Okay, on an entire dataset. After we are satisfied with the training and test results, then okay, then we make this machine learning model online. Okay, we make this machine learning project publicly available. Okay, this is meant by batch learning. Now when you observe this entire flow, you may see that this entire flow is fine. Okay, first we are taking our machine learning model and we are training this machine learning model on a dataset. Okay, after entire training process is completed, then we evaluate the results on the test data, and finally once we are satisfied, we deploy it on the server. Okay, this entire process looks fine, right? But there is a huge problem in this entire process. Okay, so the problem, so to understand this problem, we need to understand 2 points. Okay, the first point is batch learning is called offline learning. Okay, this is the first point that we need to understand. And second point is, in batch learning, in batch learning, the machine learning model is an static model. Yes, if we are able to understand both these points, then we can understand the major problem in this entire flow. Okay, now let's start with our first point, that is batch learning is called offline learning. Okay, first let's understand why it's actually called an offline learning. Okay, why it is called offline learning is, first we are considering our machine learning model and we are training this machine learning model on the entire data set. Okay, this entire training process is happening offline. Okay, this entire training process is happening offline. Okay, so that is why it is called offline learning. Okay, after bringing this machine learning model online, we are not performing any training. Okay, we are not performing any training, so that is why it is called offline learning. We are training our machine learning model offline. Okay, the entire process is happening offline, so that is why it is called offline learning. Okay, now you may have a doubt that why we are actually doing offline training. Okay, now let us take a scenario where we have a machine learning model and we have deployed our machine learning model. on the server. Means we have bought our machine learning model online. Okay, without any training, we have bought our machine learning model online. Okay, now we need to train our machine learning model when it is online. Okay, but the data is huge. Okay, but the data is huge and we need to train our machine learning model online. Okay, when it is online on this huge data set. Okay, now training this machine learning model once it is online on this huge data set is a time taking process. It is a time inefficient process and also memory inefficient process. So that is why we do this entire machine learning model training offline. Okay, that is why we do this machine learning model training offline in batch learning. Okay, this is our first point. Okay, the second point is in batch learning the machine learning model is a static model. Okay, now you may have a doubt that why it is actually called a static model. Because once we have trained our machine learning model on the entire dataset offline, and after bringing it online we are not doing any changes to the model. Okay, any parametrical changes, or we are not doing any training process when the model is online. Okay, once the machine learning model is offline. Okay, once we train our machine learning model offline and bring it online, after bringing it online that is publicly available, we are not doing any training process or we are not doing any parametrical changes over there. So the entire model is a static model. Okay, entire model is a static model. It's not a dynamic model. It is a static model. Means we are not performing any changes to the model once it is online. Okay, once it is online we are not performing any changes to the model. Now to take any actions, okay, to take any actions to this model, we need to bring this model offline and we need to retrain this model on the new data. Okay, first we deploy. Okay, we bring it online. After bringing it online, okay, after bringing it online, if some new data, okay, we want to train our machine learning model on the new data, we take this new data and append to the old data, append to the old data, and we train this entire model on this combined data set. Okay, so to retrain this model we need to bring this offline. Okay, after bringing this offline we can retrain this model. Okay, until then we cannot perform any parametrical changes or we cannot do any training process when the model is online. So that is why in batch learning the machine learning model is a static model when it is online. Okay, when it is online. So these are the two basic points. Okay, now let's understand the problem with an example. Okay, I hope you clearly understood both these problems. Now let us see an example. Now let's say we built an Netflix recommender system. Okay, we built an Netflix recommender system. Now the job of this Netflix recommender system is to recommend the movies based on the genre or cast. Okay, once we open a movie, okay, once we open a particular movie, the related movies should be displayed under that movie. Okay, now this is the main job of this Netflix recommender system. Okay, now we are doing batch machine learning for this Netflix recommender system. That is, first we are training our recommender system on the entire movies dataset and we are deploying it on the server. That is, we are connecting it to the official Netflix app. Okay, this is how we are this is how the entire process is. Okay, we are first taking our recommender system, we are training on the entire movies dataset. After entire training and evaluation process is completed, then we are bringing it online, right? Okay, till here the entire discussion is clear. Okay, now what actually happens is, okay, what actually the main problem over here is, uh, every day, okay, every day or every second some or the other movie is added. Okay, some or the other movie is added, right? Some or the other movie is added to the movies. Okay, like worldwide we'll be seeing various movies releases. Okay, we'll be seeing various movies releases. Okay, now when the new movies are released and we use our batch learning for our recommender system, so when we try to open a movie, the related movies, okay, the related newly added movies are not at all displayed. Okay, the related new movies, okay, the newly added movies to the Netflix are not displayed in our recommender system. Okay, the newly added movies are not displayed in our recommender system. Okay, now to make it display in our Netflix app, we need to bring this recommender system offline, and now again we need to take this new movies and old movies and append the entire dataset, and again return this Netflix recommender system on the entire dataset, and again bring it online. Okay, until then the Netflix should stop its services. Okay, until then the Netflix should stop its services. Okay, this is the main problem with batch learning. Okay, now let's understand with second example. Okay, now let's say we have Google news feed app. Okay, now the news feed are updated every second, right? The news like each new like new news are added to the news feed app every second. Okay, now let's say we have used batch learning in our Google newsfeed app. Okay, first we are taking the entire news that are happened till this second. Okay, till this second, what are all the news that are available, we are training it on the uh, let's say certain model. Okay, we are training it on the certain model. After the entire training process is completed, we are deploying it on the Google newsfeed app. Okay, now let's say after a minute a new news has occurred, that is coronavirus. Let's say new news has come, that is coronavirus. Now this coronavirus is an important news. Okay, it is an important news, but this news is displayed only when we take our Google newsfeed model offline and retrain this on the coronavirus news. Okay, that newly added news, and again we bring it online. Okay, until then this news is not displayed on the Google newsfeed app, right? So but this news is very much important. Okay, this coronavirus news is very much important, but it's not immediately available. Okay, we need to wait a certain period. Okay, certain period until this model is brought offline and retrained and again brought online. Okay, as it is an important news, it is not displayed immediately. Okay, as coronavirus is an important news, it is not displayed immediately on the Google newsfeed app due to batch learning. Okay, this is the main problem. Okay, this is the main problem with the batch learning. Now let us see few applications of batch learning. Okay, among them the first is few NLP tasks like sentiment analysis. Okay, and the second is image classification. Okay, now let us see with an example. Now let's say we are building dog versus cat classification model. Okay, now for this I need a dataset which contains dog and cat images, and then I need to train a machine learning model on this dataset. Okay, now in this training process, what our machine learning model does is it extracts important features from dog and cat images. Okay, it extracts important features from dog and cat images. Now once important features are extracted and our machine learning model learns from this important features, then we test it on the test data and we deploy it on the server. Okay, now let's say in future a new breed dog has come for the classification. Okay, new breed dog has come for the classification. Okay, now when the new breed dog, okay, that is unseen by our machine learning model, uh, dog has come, we need not bring our machine learning model offline and retrain on this new breed dog, because the each dog, okay, each dog shares a common features. So as new breed dog also shares a common features with the dogs that are in the data set, we need not bring this machine learning model offline and retrain on the new dog. Okay, so when the new dog comes, it automatically classifies under dog or cat. Okay, same goes with the new breed cat as well. Okay, so in this cases, okay, in this case, when the model needs to be static, okay, when the model needs to be static, we need to use batch learning. Okay, and in the second case, that is when the historical data is sufficient for the entire training process, then we need to use batch learning. Okay, first case when the when the static model is required, then we need to use batch learning, and the second is when historical data is sufficient for training, okay, we need to use batch learning. Okay, these are the main applications of batch learning. Okay, and when it comes to disadvantages of batch learning, lots of data. Okay, first disadvantage is lots of data. Okay, now first we train a machine learning model on a data set. Okay, after the entire training process completed, we then deploy it on the server. Okay, now in future when the new data is added, we need to again and again bring this machine learning model offline and append it with the new data set, so that our data set becomes large. Okay, each time new data comes, our data set become larger and larger. Okay, now training on this larger data sets takes and huge computation power, and also lots of training time. Okay, so this is our first disadvantage, that is lots of data. Okay, each time the data comes, we need to append the data to the old data and again retrain the entire model on this data set. Okay, the second is hardware limitation. Okay, for training this model on lots of amount of data, we need to have GPU power and also sorry, lots of disk space. Okay, and third is availability of the updated data. Okay, now we have already discussed this disadvantage in our previous section of the video, that is the coronavirus is an important news that must be right now available. Okay, now if this news is available after a day, it is useless, right? It is useless. So it is a right now, it's an immediate information that has to be available right now, but the availability of the data is not at a perfect time. So this is the third disadvantage of batch learning. And the fourth disadvantage is training time. So training it on the lots of amount of data is an time taking process. Okay, these are the four disadvantages of batch learning. Okay, now to solve these four disadvantages, we have a new technique called online learning. Okay, online learning which solves these four disadvantages. Okay, we'll be discussing about this online learning in the next video. Hope you guys like this video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.